श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् ॐ अखण्डानन्दसम्बोधः वन्दनात्यस्यायते गोविन्दं तमहं वन्दे चिदानन्दतनुं गुरुम्. So yesterday we saw bhavabandha bandha moksho manasaiva bandhasya mokshasya manasaiva. Mind is the sole cause for both bondage and liberation. How can the same mind be cause for bondage as well as liberation? It should either be cause for bondage or cause for liberation. How can it be cause for both bondage and liberation? Then we say when it is impure mind, it becomes cause for bondage. When it is pure mind, it is cause for liberation. What is that which causes impurity and what is purity? Then some people say, we explained it, the impurity is the rajoguna and tamoguna association. Some people take it as the kama, etc. That is not right, because kama, etc. are effects of rajoguna, tamoguna. So you have to attack the cause, not the effect first. So once the cause is removed, the effect will as well be removed. There cannot be no existence of effect without the cause. Therefore, he says, Bhagavan Bhāshyakara himself explains, rajastamobhyāṃ malinaṃ tu ashuddham ajñānajaṃ sattvaguṇena riktam manastamodoṣasamanvitatvā jjaḍatvamohālasatāpramādaiḥ tiraskṛtaṃ nato vetti vāstavaṃ padārthatattvaṃ hyupalabhyamānam. rajastamobhyāṃ malinaṃ tu ashuddham ajñānajaṃ sattvaguṇena riktam manastamodoṣasamanvitatvāt jjaḍatvamohālasatāpramādaiḥ tiraskṛtaṃ sat natu vetti vāstavaṃ padārthatattvaṃ hyupalabhyamānam. rajastamobhyāṃ malinaṃ ashuddham ajñānajaṃ sattvaguṇena riktam manaha. Then the mind, what kind of mind are we talking about? rajastamobhyāṃ malinaṃ. It has become impure. Malinam means impure because of rajoguna and tamoguna. And ashuddham is also lack of purity. It's also impurity. Why does he say malinam and ashuddham? Malinam is impurity. Ashuddham is also impurity. So why do you say malinam and impure? Any kind of association brings impurity. Any kind of association. Association is impurity. Simple. Whether it be rajoguna, tamoguna, or even sattoguna, it is impurity. Remember this. Even sattoguna is impurity. So we should get rid of the sattoguna. No, first don't work for that. Get rid of the rajoguna and tamoguna, and sattoguna can be gotten rid of once you gain the liberation, because it is an important tool for liberation. That is why we do all the practices, all the spiritual practices, all the sadhanas are done only to gain this impurity, to get rid of this impurity. So he says ajñānajaṃ manaha, this mind which is born of ignorance, ajñānajaṃ manaha. And what kind of mind it is? Sattvaguṇena riktam manaha. It is not just endowed with the rajoguna and tamoguna. It is also devoid of sattvaguṇa. A mind which is devoid of sattvaguṇa, mind which is endowed with the tamoguna and rajoguna and impurified and made non-pure by the rajoguna and tamoguna, that mind born of ignorance, that tamodoṣasamanvitatvā, since it is endowed with the, associated with the defects of tamoguna. What are the defects of tamoguna? So he says jjaḍatvamohālasatāpramādaiḥ. These are the effects of tamoguna, which are defects. What are the effects of tamoguna? Jjaḍatva, inertness. You don't feel like opening your eyes. You don't feel like lifting your body. The mind is inert. The sense organs are inert. the body becomes inert. Therefore, that tamoguna, which brings in inertness for body, sense, mind, then moha, delusion. It also brings the delusion of seeing something as something. Then alasata, laziness. Because of this heaviness in the body sense organ complex, we feel ourselves very lazy, not having any energy to do anything. And therefore, what happens? These are all cause effect kind of thing. When you feel yourself lazy, even in that laziness, we become logical to establish that it is okay to be not okay. We just convince ourselves it is okay to be not okay. That is what he says, carelessness, pramadaihi. So we are endowed with, because of this inert, this tamoguna, we become inert, therefore we become deluded, therefore we become lazy, therefore we become careless. And that stage, because of these kind of effects, tiraskṛtaṃ sat, when the hyupalabhyamānam sat, tiraskṛtaṃ, hyupalabhyamānam tiraskṛtaṃ sat. Though the self is existent ever, it is veiled, covered, hidden because of the defects of the tamoguna. Therefore, he says, vāstavaṃ padārthatattvaṃ na vetti. Hyupalabhyamānam api, though it is evident, it is existent, that reality he does not know. He does not understand. He does not perceive. He does not cognize. So, what is the way? He says, rajodoṣairyuktaṃ yadi bhavati vikṣepakaguṇaiḥ pratīpaiḥ kāmādyairaniśamabhibhūtaṃ vyathayati kathañcitsūkṣmārthāvagatimadapi bhrāmyati bhrṛśaṃ manodīpo yadvatprabalamarutā dhvastamahimā. Okay. See, rajoguna and tamoguna, they are problematic. But what is the problem? Let it be, right? You are letting the sattva-guna to exist. Why not let the rajoguna and tamoguna also to exist? Give it some space. Don't be judgmental. So for that he says, okay, vikṣepakaguṇaiḥ rajodoṣairyuktaṃ. Rajodoṣairyuktaṃ vikṣepakaguṇaiḥ. What is the nature of rajoguna? Vikṣepakadoṣairyuktaṃ, vikṣepakaguṇaiḥ. The defect of rajoguna is it brings in turbulence. It doesn't make your mind stable. Because sattvaṃ prakāṣakam, rajaha upalambhakam, upashtambhakam, chanchalam, we saw this. Sattva-guna is of the nature of effulgence, knowledge. Rajoguna is of the nature of disturbance. Tamoguna is of the nature of absence of both this. Sattva-guna is of the nature of knowledge, rajoguna is of the nature of action, sattva-guna is of the nature of both of this, absence of both of this. We saw this. So he says, rajoguna is a disturbance because action brings disturbance. Action bears disturbance. It's only bringing disturbance. It's not going to bring in any peace. Therefore, he says, with that defect, it is endowed, yuktam, yadi bhavati. When it becomes endowed with the defects of rajoguna, which is causing all the troubles, turbulence, the mental instability, then pratīpaiḥ kāmādyairaniśamabhibhūtaṃ. Pratīpaiḥ, not pradīpa. Pradīpa means a lamp, which is well lit. Pratīpa means that which is obstruction. That which is an obstruction, not for the well-being. Something which is opposite. So that which is creating an opposition, what is that? Kāmādyairaniśamabhibhūtaṃ, the kama, etc., the desires, etc., the lust, etc. Anisham abhibhūtaṃ. Because of these non-conducive, pratīpa, non-conducive, kama, etc., desire, etc., anisham abhibhūtaṃ, this self becomes always, abhibhūtaṃ means like not the self, we are affected, afflicted, beaten by that always. These defects of karma, etc. And because of that, what happens? Vyathayati, it causes pain. It causes sorrow, grief. Therefore, kathañcit, somehow, when he experiences this pain and all that, somehow, because of his past, some punya, mind is little capable of analyzing things. When that is there, cittaṃ, the mind, though, has the capacity to inquire into the subtle nature of things. I am not saying it will inquire into the subtle nature of things. I am saying, though it is capable of inquiring into the subtle nature of things, because it is troubled by, it is pained by this karma, etc. defects. What happens? Manaha bhrīṣaṃ bhrāmyati. Let us take like that. The mind is always in turbulence. Mind always roams around. Because it is beaten by this, though it has the capability to inquire into a subtle nature of things, it is roaming around. It cannot stay put to analyze it. Like what? To explain that, he is giving an example. What does it say? Prabalamarutā dhvastamahimā dīpo yadvat deepah, like a lamp. Lamp, you light a lamp, it has a very beautiful effulgence. What is the nature of that light? The light removes the darkness. When the lamp stays still, it removes the darkness in that room. But let us suppose the same powerful light, the same height, the same width, etc. the fire has, but it is affected by a very strong wind. Because of the very strong wind, it is moving. This light is moving, this fire is moving. When that fire is wavering, the light is wavering, the same light which was able to remove the darkness will be incapable of removing the darkness. We don't even have to say talk about the light which is affected by the wind. Even a torch light, when the battery connection is not proper, it flickers. That same torch light will not be able to illumine things. Or when your hands are shivering, the same torch light will not be useful. Whichever way, whether the problem is with the torch light, the tool, or with your hand which holds it, whichever way, whether it is in the effect or cause, that's what I want to mean. Whether it is in the effect of kāmādi, etc., or the rajodoṣairyuktaṃ, etc., whichever is the problem, you will not be able to analyze and understand yourself, which is subtle. That is the idea here. Okay? Now, so what should I do? So we have been repeating again and again that the Shastra is something which tells you the problem and does not leave you alone with the problem. It also gives you the solution. What is the solution? Therefore, he says, tato mumukṣurbhavabandhamuktyai rajastamobhyāṃ ca tadīyakāryaiḥ viyojya cittaṃ parisuddha sattvaṃ priyam prayatnena sadeva kuryāt. Tataha mumukṣuhu bhavabandhamuktyai rajastamobhyāṃ ca tadīyakāryaiḥ ca viyojya cittaṃ parisuddha sattvaṃ priyam prayatnena sadeva kuryāt. Tataha, therefore, this is what you have to do. Mumukṣuhu, this person who desires to gain liberation, moksho me bhūyati didhaichuhu, the person who desires to gain the liberation, bhavabandhamuktyai, to gain liberation from the bondage of samsara, bhava samsara. Bhava is a beautiful word. Bhava is also samsara. Bhava is also name for Shiva. Bhavaya namaha. We are not saying samsaraya namaha. We are saying we are worshipping Shiva who has the ability to destroy that bhava, samsara. Bhava means also existence. Chiranjeevi bhava, I bless you to live long. Chiranjeevi Bhava. So that's also a blessing. Okay. So he says here, bhusattayam from the existence word. Okay. So to get liberated from the bondage of samsara, sada eva prayatnena. Sadeva prayatnena means always with effort. This is what is said by Patanjali Maharaj in his Yoga Sutra. What does he say? Sato dirghakala nairantarya satkara sevito dridabhumihi. If you want to be established, if you want to get rid of the bondage of samsara, you have to dirghakala nairantarya. You have to practice for a long period continuously. Yesterday I practiced for 10 hours, and today, no, for next 1 month, no. That is also not right. Oh, I practice every day half an hour. Not, that is also not right. We have to be involved in this inquiry as much as possible. We have to push ourselves into this inquiry as much as possible. That is why he says, sada eva, always prayatnena, with effort. It can be interpreted as at all point of time with effort, or effort should be always. Both ways you can understand. Sada eva can be also understood as always time, prayatnena, with effort, at all point of time with effort, or at any time always with effort. You have to practice what? Prayatnena, with effort. Rajastamobhyāṃ tadīyakāryaiḥ cittaṃ viyojya. You should have to, viyojya means leave, liberate, release, distance yourself, separate. Viyojya, to separate, simply said. So you have to separate your mind, cittaṃ, your mind, from rajoguna, tamoguna and its effects. You have to separate your mind from rajoguna and tamoguna. Wait. You have to go away from, you have to separate yourself from south. What does that mean? You are in the rajoguna and tamoguna, and you are asked to get rid of rajoguna and tamoguna. How can you do it from rajoguna and tamoguna? Getting rid of rajoguna and tamoguna cannot be done by staying put in rajoguna and tamoguna. It is impossible. So it is like you cannot get rid of south by staying in south. How can you get rid of south? How can you how can you separate yourself from south? By moving towards north. So similarly, he says, parishuddha sattvaṃ priyam kuryat. That which is dear, which is the pure sattvic quality, you have to make the mind. By distancing yourself from the rajoguna and tamoguna means by doing practices which increases your sattvic quality. That is what we have to be very careful about. See, all the practices which we do, whether it is japa, dhyana, etc., or the food which we eat, should all be conducive to increase our sattvic quality. All these are necessary. See, in Vedanta, people think, oh, there is only one self, all this is illusory and all that. So you can play with illusory. No, you're held by illusory things. You are bound to the illusory things. Without understanding the illusoriness of the illusory things, you cannot be liberated from it. So to get rid of that, you have to have the strength. For that strength, you have to do the practice of trying to increase your sattvic quality. And trying to increase your sattvic quality through mind, through words and action, deeds, in every which way, through all the sense organs. You have to try to increase the sattvic quality. So he says, okay, why should I do that? He says, garbhavasa jani pranashana jara vyathayadishu praninam yad dukkham paridrishyate tat paridrishyate cha narake tat cintayatvamohālasatāpramādaiḥ doshaneva vilokya sarva vishayeshu ye asham vimuncyabhitah cittagranthi vimochanaaya sumati sattam samalambataṃ. How do I get rid of the rajoguna and tamoguna? How do I grow this sattvic guna? So Amins said, Garbhavasa, Jani, Pranashana, Jara, Vyadhyadishu, Praninam yad dukkham paridrishyate cha, narake cha, tat chintayitva mahuhu, doshan eva vilokya, sarva vishayeshu, asham vimunchya, abhitah chittagranthi mochanaya sumatihi sattam samalambataṃ. Garbhavasa means to stay in the womb, to enter the womb and to stay in the womb. We feel a kind of security. We think that is the secure place for a jiva to stay because the mother protects it. It need not put forth any effort. But when you see the Taittiriya Karika, etc., he goes on to explain the kind of pain we'll experience. Here also we saw a little bit, but there he'll explain the pain which we experience in the womb. We think that the water which is protecting us in the womb, that is, according to the science, that it is said it is a very pure water. But the problem is, the Shastras say that water also has a small worms and things like that which you cannot see, virus or bacteria or whatever that is, which has its teeth like a saw which cuts through the baby and all that it says. Now, whether we are secure or not, we are bound to a place, bound to a situation, in a place where we cannot move our hands and legs freely. We cannot experience anything outside. That's a pain. Garbhavasa. So pain of the pain of staying in the womb. For everybody, to stay in the womb means every jiva has to go through this. But wait. Not every jiva, right? How? Because this udbijja, we call it, something which comes from a seed. The plant. The plant doesn't go through the staying of garbhavasa, etc. True, but that is the garbha. Garbha means that which becomes the cause for creating something, producing something. That is garbhavasa. So it gives birth to the plant. So seed is the garbha for the plant. So he says garbhavasa. Jani. Jani means the birth itself. After staying in the womb, you have to come out. So the birth. That's a painful thing. And birth itself is not the be all end all. You have to die also if you are born. So death. Death again, pranashana. Death is destruction, complete destruction. But destruction does not come only in complete. There is incomplete destruction also. Partial destruction also, which is more painful. What are they? Jara, vyadhyadishu. Old age, disease, etc. Both old age and disease, they take away your physical and mental strength. They remove the physical and mental strength. So, not okay. Oh, in this world, that's always a problem. But the pain is not just in this world. Because of the rajoguna and tamoguna, you have been practicing the bad karmas, and therefore you are not going to heaven. You are going to hell. So, narakecha, in the hell also. What are we going to experience? Praninam yad dukkham. The living being, the jiva, whatever sorrow it is going to experience, paridrishyate. Whatever you see, okay, this the cause, therefore should be affected. Whatever cause-effect relationship you see, that sorrow, regarding that sorrow, muhuhu chintayitva. Think about it again and again. We are going to come back to this world. We have to suffer. Now, when we say in India, there is a common use. They say Kali Yuga. This is how it will be. See, earlier people used to trust other people. People used to help other people. People used to assist other people, the family. Now they don't even care about their own family. Forget about the other family. Everyone is now I, me, myself. And the new generation, they are worse than that. They don't care about anything else. Now, if this is the situation now, what will happen 100 years later? It's not going to be better. It's going to be worse and worse. So he says, cittaṃ, thinking about this again and again, not end there. He says, cittaṃ, he's adding a tva suffix. Tva suffix means there is something else you have to do after. What is that? Sarva vishayeshu doshaneva vilokya. You have to see the defects in all the objects. Vishayeshu dosham pashya. We have to see the defects of the objects, because objects by itself, in itself, is not giving you happiness. We saw that the cat which had some plaything tied to its neck with a wire, a stiff wire. It's at a distance from its face. It forgets that it is tied to that wire. Suddenly it remembers, it sees that plaything in front of it. It starts jumping here and there and trying to catch hold of it. That is how we are running behind the objects. And if the object itself is happiness, then it should have to give happiness continuously without fail. But no, the first cup of coffee gives you happiness. Second cup of coffee, not full. Third cup of coffee becomes pain. Fourth cup of coffee, no, you are going to kill him who is going to offer the coffee. Happens. Or the husband and wife, whom you think husband or wife, whichever, the spouse gives you happiness. But when you are troubled by some official work or something else, when your mind is engrossed in something else, when the same person is going to call you honey, then you are going to be, what? There is no happiness then. So he says, sarva visheshu, in all the objects, doshayan eva vilokya, only seeing the defects. That is what we saw earlier, how to see the defect. The beautiful body. What is that? What is a beautiful body? It is just bones, blood, pus, skin. Individually, when you see any of these things outside, you will vomit. You will not even want to go closer to it. In a collective form, you see it's very attractive. So he says, dosha neva vilokya, seeing the defects. Abhitaha asha vimunchya, seeing the defects in all the objects, completely giving up the attachment, the desires to them. Chitta granthi vimochanaya, to get rid of the bondage in the mind, the knot of the mind. What is the knot of the mind? Chitta granthi. In the Shastras, in the Mundaka Upanishad, he says Hridaya Granthi. Here he says Chitta Granthi. What is the Hridaya Granthi or Chitta Granthi? What is the knot of the heart? Knot of the heart is a Chit Jada Granthi. Simply say Chit Jada Granthi. Chit Jada knot means the association between consciousness and inert. I don't understand what that is. Okay, simply said, seeing the I as mine and mine as I. That is what is the knot of heart. Getting confused with things of I as mine and with things of mine as I. That is what is the knot of the heart. So, sumatihi, to get rid of that knot of the heart, sumatihi, shobhana mati yasya, the person who has a very good intellect, mati intellect, that person who has a very good intellect, sattam samalambatam, should resort to take refuge in sattvaguna, should try to cultivate sattvaguna. Okay, very good. So, we have to get rid of the tamoguna and rajoguna from the mind and practice things to gain more sattvaguna, because sattvaguṇa is of effulgence, of the nature of effulgence, so it gives you the strength, the focus to understand the self. Good, fine. But what is the method to gain sattva guna? That is not said yet. So he says, yameshu nirato yastu niyameshu chayatnataha vivekina tasya cittaṃ brahmadāda digacchati. Yameshu nirataha yastu niyameshu chayatnataha vivekina tasya cittaṃ pramadāt adhigacchati. Yastu yatnataha yameshu nemeshu cha nirataha. One who is established in, involved in the practice of yama and niyama with effort. What is yama and niyama? In Shastra, yama means the Lord of Death. Yama also means control. There are two kinds of control. One is yama, the other is niyama. What are this? First, what is yama? See, these are words used in Ashtanga Yoga. In Yoga Sutra, they say this. Yama, niyama, asana, pratyahara, etc. What is yama? So, to understand yama, we have to go to the Yoga Sutra. In Yoga Sutra, he says, ahimsa satyamasteyam brahmacharyam aparigrahaha yamaha. These are yama. Ahimsa, satyam, asteyam, brahmacharyam, and aparigraha. These five are called as yama. Practice of these five is practice of yama. What is ahimsa? Himsa means violence. Ahimsa means non-violence. When we say ahimsa, non-violence, we think that I should not hurt anyone. Physically hurting is what we think is as violence, but violence is not just that. Hurting someone physically, verbally, mentally, all three of them is violence. They are violence. You hurt someone physically, evident violence. You speak something bad about someone, verbal violence. But wait, mental violence? There's nothing called mental violence. Because what do you know about what I said? I was cursing you people. How do you know what? If you are laughing at it, you don't even know that I was cursing you in my mind. No. Though you may not be knowing it, the other person, sometimes you go closer to a person, known or unknown, does not really matter. You are attracted to some people, you have this revolt against some people, you hate some people. The moment you see them, you don't even know them, you don't even know their character, but you don't like them. Immediate. There is anger, there is a sorrow, etc. You experience immediately. It hits you. Or suddenly something you experience bad. It is all because of that person thinking bad about you. A. B. For a sadhaka, thinking bad about someone is also very bad, because he beating someone. Do you remember? You beat me when I was in school or college. People say, did I? Okay, tell me, did I beat you properly? That is another question. But the thing is, we don't even remember beating someone. Do you remember you used those bad words? I'm sorry, I remember that. Yes. You remember the bad words. You don't remember the beatings, but you remember the words. But the deeds, the thoughts, they stay with you as thought imprint. It comes back to haunt you in your next birth. That is why a sadhaka should be more careful about the thoughts than the words and action. So, non-violence in thought, non-violence in speech, non-violence in deed, action. It's all should be practiced. Okay. First ahimsa, then satya, truth. Truth. Speaking the truth. Speaking the truth means what? Things as it is. Yadvatprabalamarutā satyatvam. Speaking things as it is truth. But there is a statement. Satyam brūyāt priyam brūyāt na brūyāt apriyam satyam. Speak the truth. Speak something which is likable. Don't speak something which is truth but not likable. Don't hurt someone just because you are speaking the truth. They say these words. But forget about all that. When you say truth, satya, the image of satya you have is of one person in the tradition called Harishchandra. Harishchandra, this character, he never lied. The deities want to put him under pressure to make him lie. Even in worst situation, he had to sell his wife, he had to cremate his son. And to cremate his son, he had to take money from his own wife, because he sold his wife to someone, and there his son died. She brings him, that boy, to the crematorium where he was working as a slave. There, when she brought the wife brought her son, she says, you have to pay money because I have to pay my master. He never ever said any lie, no matter hitam, no matter ahitam, whether it's good or bad, whether it's acceptable or non-acceptable. He didn't care about anything. He spoke only truth. We need to understand truth. That does not mean we need to hurt anyone, because that also comes in ahimsa, right? So speaking the truth. Satyam, asteyam. The third one is asteyam. Asteyam means steyam means stealing. Asteyam means non-stealing. Not stealing, not thieving others' things. Can be wealth, can be intellectual property, can be property, any kind of property, even that. See, that again should not be stolen with words, mind, or deed. You should not steal by action, no. Or you use somebody's knowledge as though it is yourself, stealing. You think about stealing somebody's wealth, that also is stealing. So, not stealing with mind, words, or action. This is third one. First one is ahimsa, non-violence. Second one is satyam, truth. Third one is asteyam, not thieving, not stealing. Okay. Now, fourth one is not coveting the other's wealth. That's the idea. Okay. So, fourth one is brahmacharyam. Brahmacharyam, practicing celibacy. We spoke about this in the earlier shlokas. 2 shlokas we took. What kind of brahmacharya is that? Not speaking, not sharing the secrets, not talking secrets, etc. We saw that earlier. Now, celibacy is one thing. Now, fifth is aparigraham. Parigraha means owning things. Aparigraha means not owning things, not having the sense of attachment towards things. That is what is parigraha, aparigraha. You may have things, but not having attachment towards those things. Because in today's world, not having anything is impossible. If you want to not have anything, you should be only a hobo. You cannot live in the society. It is impossible. Even the hobos have things. Only we human have this nature of, or we are compelled to follow this nature of holding on to things for tomorrow. Not birds, not animals. No. We are compelled to. So, aparigraham, that is the aparigraham. See, asteyam, not coveting others' wealth. Aparigraham, not coveting your own wealth, not being attached to your own wealth. That is what is aparigraham. Attached to others' wealth is stealing. Not attached to your own wealth is parigraha. not attached to your own wealth or others' wealth. That is what is said here. Okay. So, yama is a non-violence, truth, non-stealing, celibacy, and not coveting your own wealth. Not coveting your own wealth. Not being attached to your own wealth. Okay. We'll see what niyama is. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamādāya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.